Should a woman play hard to get? Or is it just an outdated game that leaves everyone frustrated and alone? Biblical wisdom for love, dating, and marriage? This is Love Factual. Today we're going to break down the truth behind this strategy. We'll look at what actually works, what backfires, and most importantly, what the Bible and psychology have to say about it. Because there is a massive difference between protecting your peace and playing a part. Welcome back to Love Factual, the channel where we talk love, faith, and relationships with clarity and truth. I'm William Ryan, and if you find value in this conversation, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. Trust me, the comment section on this one is going to be a lively one. So the first thing I want to talk about is defining the game. Before we talk about whether it works, we have to define what we are actually talking about. When people say play hard to get, they usually mean a specific set of behaviors. Intentionally waiting 3 hours to text back, declining a Friday night date even if you're free, just to seem busy, acting indifferent when you are actually excited. Essentially, it's about making someone choose you by creating an artificial barrier. But here is where most people get confused. There is a world of difference between healthy boundaries and manipulation. Boundaries are about knowing your worth. It's saying, I don't rush into intimacy because my heart is valuable. Manipulation is about power. It's sending mixed signals, hot one day and cold the next, just to keep someone off balance so you feel in control. So where does this idea come from? Why are we told that the chase is the only way to catch a man's attention? So the second thing I want to talk about is the psychology of scarcity. Let's look at the science. There's a psychological principle called scarcity. In economics and attraction, we tend to assign higher value to things that are harder to obtain. If a person appears highly selective, our brains subconsciously think they must have high standards because they have high value. Research actually shows that people are more drawn to moderately hard to get individuals, not the person who is impossible to reach, but the person who is discerning. Here's the catch though. But here's the danger. If you take this too far, you trigger something called uncertainty avoidance. Okay, imagine this. You meet someone amazing. You're vibing, but then they go radio silent. You text, they take 3 days to reply with a one-word answer. At first, you might chase, but eventually, the reward isn't worth the effort. You start wondering if they're actually interested or just playing games. High-value men who are looking for a real partner usually grow tired of games very quickly. They want a partner, not a puzzle. And here is segment number 3. The third thing I'm going to talk about is the biblical viewpoint. So how does this align with a life of faith? In Proverbs 4:23, we are told, Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So notice that it says guard, not game. Guarding your heart means that you don't give your deepest emotions or your physical self to someone who hasn't earned that level of access yet. That's not a game. That's stewardship of your soul. However, let's look at 1 Corinthians 13 because it tells us that love is patient and kind. It is not self-seeking. Playing hard to get is often very self-seeking. It's about how can I make him want me more rather than how can I build a foundation of honesty. So the takeaway, it is 100% okay to be cautious. It is okay to be slow to trust. But love thrives on clarity. You can be a woman of mystery without being a woman of dishonesty. Here is segment number 4. Standards versus games. If hard to get isn't the answer, what is? I want to propose a shift. Replace games with standards. A woman who is hard to get might be lying about being busy. A woman with standards actually is busy with her faith, her career, her friends, and her growth. Let's look at playing games versus having standards. Waiting to reply to look cool. Replying when you have a moment of peace. Hiding your interest to stay winning. Being honest about your interest but slow with your trust. Making him jump through hoops. Observing if his character aligns with your values. A woman who knows her worth doesn't need to manufacture scarcity. Her time is naturally scarce because she values it. When the right man sees that you have a full God-honoring life, he won't feel like he's being played. He'll feel like he's found someone worth stepping up for. And here is segment number 5, practical do's and don'ts. Let's get practical. How do you apply this in the real world? Let's talk about the do's. Be upfront about your values. If you don't believe in sex before marriage, say it early. That's a boundary, not a game. Match the energy. Eventually, if he's pursuing, show appreciation. Don't leave him in a vacuum. Be authentic. If you're excited about the second date, say, I had a great time. You don't lose power by being kind. And here are the don'ts. Don't ghost to gain leverage. It's immature and hurtful. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. If you're a text back in 10 minutes person, don't force yourself to wait 4 hours. Don't confuse mystery with misdirection. Mystery is letting him discover your layers over time. Misdirection is leading him down a false path. Listen, I've coached many couples, and the strongest marriage didn't start with a chase, where one person was running away. They started with 2 people who were clear about what they wanted and respected the pace at which the relationship grew. To wrap it all up, do you need to play hard to get? The answer is no, but you should be hard to land. If a man isn't bringing character, consistency, and Christ centered intentions to the table, attraction comes from authenticity, not manipulation. Real love doesn't play games, it builds trust. I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried playing hard to get? Did it work? Or did it blow up in your face? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe to Love Factual for more deep dives into faith and dating. I'm William Ryan, and I'll see you in the next video.